हरे कृष्ण। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। हरे कृष्ण. We'll just summarize what we discussed in the last session. So here we will try to memorize this chapter. It's a very nice instructions that are given by Suniti. That's why it is very important. And this is one of the best instruction. Great mother, great son. So we'll just first part we discussed is how the first section of this chapter is about different how the entanglement happens. By knowing it, we can come out of entanglement. And from later on, when the incident happened, when Dhruva was insulted, he comes to his mother, and we see that Kshatriya nature is very much aggrieved, goes to mother immediately, and then first instruction she gives is don't think ill of others, which is very much important. We should not wish inauspicious for anybody, and the whole Kali Yuga environment is filled of offenses. Everything is offensive. Second is come out of victim mentality. Don't blame Suruchi for what is happening. We have to accept reality, come out of victim mentality. And then she says that don't be envious. We have to have clean consciousness, and then only we'll be able to and meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then we discussed how she increased her faith by giving example of Brahma. This is even the number one person of the creation is going to the Supreme Lord. And says not only that, even your grandfather also, Swayambhu Manu, he also only took his shelter. So no need of going for any demigods, any other personalities. Then she says that Lord is very kind, so success is guaranteed. He is more merciful than millions of mothers. No need of and another important thing, no need of changing the nature. Whatever situation you are, you can achieve the Supreme Lord. And again, she says, don't take shelter of anyone. And in that way, she concludes. After hearing that, Dhruva immediately understood and he leaves for the forest. And he's so there were also that time news people who were carrying news, Kecharas. We heard them in the previous chapter also, where Sati came to know about the yajna performed by his father by Kecharas. So now we have internet media and all. But in previous ages also there were some living entities who used to travel, carry the news and inform. And it happened that even Narada Muni, he heard this news that Dhruva left home. So he got this news. There may be some subtle living entities who are carrying the news and informing the people around. They may also get some remuneration. They are reporters in the creation. So Narada heard immediately, and then he comes to the help of Dhruv Maharaj because he felt that he needs some guidance. And then he first appreciates, oh, how wonderful are the powerful Kshatriyas. They cannot tolerate even a slight infringement upon their prestige. Just imagine this boy is only a small child, yet harsh words from his stepmother proved unbearable to him. So this is a Kshatriya spirit. And they cannot, if somebody challenges them, uh, they cannot sit in the bunkers and send some innocent soldiers to paid soldiers for the war. They are not Kshatriyas, they are more of Vaishyas. Kshatriya means if somebody challenges, he will be the first person to go and fight. That's why we don't have any Kshatriya kings now. We all have Vaishya kings. They they appoint somebody to fight on behalf of them. So Kshatriya cannot tolerate if somebody is challenging. He says, how can you challenge me and I am sitting not accepting the challenge is not possible only. So there was one Indian army officer. He was a pilot, and there was war between India and Pakistan. He, without any orders, he took the flight. He went directly to Pakistan and he attacked them. Of course, he was uh, he was brought down by the Pakistan army. But at least he could not tolerate only. He said, how if they are challenging the fighting and I am sitting here doing nothing? He immediately took the flight and he did something, he damaged them. But the point is, he could not resist. So this is actually a Kshatriya spirit. He must be the last Kshatriya who remained in India. And then now Narada Muni, he tests Dhruva Maharaj. He said, you are a boy, just play around. You can enjoy. Why are you so affected by insulting words? He says, no, I am not a boy. Okay, then if you are grown up, then you accept as the law of karma. If you are a grown up boy, you feel your sense of honor is insulted. You should know that it is your karma only. You should accept your destiny. This kind of dissatisfaction, another feature of illusory energy. So he says, why are you so affected by it? And therefore, there are different varieties of life and enjoyment, everything happens. And then Narada says the process of, okay, if you are not ready to accept destiny, then he says the process of Supreme Personality is very wonderful. One who is intelligent should accept the process and be satisfied with whatever comes favorable or unfavorable by his Supreme Will. Okay, you accept as the will of Supreme Lord. So if you are not ready to accept the that it is your destiny, but you want to, but you cannot deny the will of Supreme Lord, right? So that's another logic he gives. So great sage Narada instructed Dhruva Maharaj that one should be satisfied in all circumstances. Everyone who is intelligent should know that because of our concept of bodily existence, we are subjected to suffering and enjoyment. One who is in the transcendental position beyond the concept of bodily life is considered to be intelligent. One who is a devotee especially accepts all reverses as gift of the Supreme Lord. When a devotee is put into distress, he accepts this as God's mercy and offers him repeated obeisances with his body, mind, and intelligence. An intelligent person, therefore, should be always satisfied depending on the mercy of Lord. So, here, previous one is mostly like for a Brahmana, and in general, most of the people they accept as the will of Supreme Lord. But here, it is directly, it's an instruction for a devotee. So first instruction is for the child. Okay, you are a boy. He says, no, I cannot play. I am not a boy. Okay, if you are grown up, they accept destiny. He said, no. Okay, then be a devotee, accept the will of Supreme Lord. Then even that also will not appeal to Dhruva. So accept the will. Tattenu kampa susamikshamano bunjanyevatmakatam papa. We have to work on this aspect. And then comes this. Now you have decided to undertake the mystic process of meditation under the instruction of your mother just to achieve the mercy of Supreme Lord. But in my opinion, such austerities are not possible for an ordinary man. It is very difficult to satisfy the Supreme Personality of God. Now, what he said, okay, you are not accepting any of the things. You said you want to do some austerities to perform, to achieve the Supreme Lord. He says that this is not actually easy. So the path which you are undertaking is not the easy path. So the path is not easy to attain Supreme Lord. I want to discuss more on this. We will just read the purpose. The process of Bhakti Yoga is simultaneously very difficult and very easy to perform. Sri Narada Muni, the supreme spiritual master, testing Dhruva Maharaj to see how determined he is to prosecute devotional service. This is the process of accepting a disciple. The great sage Narada has come to Dhruva under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead just to intimate him. Yet he is testing Dhruva's determination to execute the process. It is a fact, however, that for a sincere person, devotional service is very easy. But for one who is not determined and sincere, this process is very difficult. So this is Narada is testing Dhruva, we can say. He's testing Dhruva. And this is a very important understanding. Like people, they try to practice some yoga and other things, but important thing is, especially here, it is necessary for us to understand our unsuitability for practicing yoga, because most of the instructions that are given for especially Ashtanga yoga, the method of mechanically mastering one's mind is not meant actually for us. People, they go for yoga for losing weight, in the best scenario, and the worst scenario is to have better sex. So people have very strong ideas about yoga, because yoga is like a buzzword now. You tell somebody about yoga, this, yeah, we are, yeah, yoga, that's cool, no? Actually, every Friday I take one session at one yoga studio. So what happens is many students come for performing yoga, and after they leave, then we start our session on Bhagavad Gita. So from the yoga class, only one, two students stay. Others come later on to attend the class. But these people, they are not interested in any knowledge. They are interested in yoga. They feel yoga is cool and we should do it. So that every week happens in the yoga studio. So the point here is that people, they are so much concerned about fitness and other things. They are not interested in any knowledge. But it is explained that yoga is ultimately a fragile technique. Actually, it is most important is to mastering one's mind. That is the most important. And when yoga is used to achieve some lower goals, and it's an abuse of the science, basically. So this is a great science of getting rid of karma. Because as a result of our karma, the mind has become like a full flowing river. Because full flowing river means we have huge amount of thoughts, huge number of desires, huge amount of anxieties. All this is the result of our past actions, right? Now, each of our actions, they create a certain knot in the mind. And this bundle sooner or later leads us to worries. And yoga is a technique that has developed by the sages of antiquity in order to bring the mind to a completely pure, crystalline, calm state. You're understanding? So this calm state, because man has infinite power. He can see the past, present, and future. He can understand almost everything. But our mind now uh, is it is it's in a it's a difficult state now. It is very disturbed presently. So this is the result of our past actions, worries, because we are constantly under pressure. This pressure comes from within, from our mind only. So yoga initially teaches a person to calm his mind in order for him to return the mind to its original crystal clear state. So in that state, we can know past, present, and future. So the mind, it is capable of concentration. It can concentrate on one thing. But now what is happening? People have practically forgotten how to do this art of concentration. People think that more I do at the same time, I am better. We eat while watching TV, and we do something else, something on the computer, on the mobile, watching internet, listening lecture, and so many things. I also did like that. Then I understood it's actually not correct, because mind don't work like that. I think I am smelling now, I am tasting now, I am seeing now. No, mind smells, after that only it tastes, and after that only it is seeing, and then it is tasting. So it is doing all the things separately. Because it is doing so fast, I think I am doing all the three things together. No, if we are doing multitasking, it's a very distracted mind. So slowly I'm trying to avoid. I understood my mind is very distracted mind, because while doing deity worship, I am hearing lecture. While doing something else, I am trying to hear the lecture. While even honoring prasadam, I try to hear lecture. So I stopped now. I said, honoring prasadam, no lectures. Deity worship, no lecture. So, because mind can do only one thing, so no multitasking. So when the mind jumps due to this uh, injustice from one action to another, this means that I do not do any action properly. And because of this, because of the constant anxiety of mind, that they have elevated to the rank, they feel it's normal now. So they feel anxiety of mind is normal, and peace of mind is something abnormal for people. The more anxious a person is, the more he switches the TV channels, more we are scrolling, more we are browsing more and more things. People think this is normal, but it is not normal. The point is, he cannot watch something for a long time. That is actually the present situation. And people, they think they're in a false state, that they think they're like Julius Caesars or Elon Musk, who can do 10 things at a time. But actually, it's a sign of illness, the illness of human mind. So Krishna is explaining also in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Of course, here Narada Muni is telling it is difficult, and he gives a bhakti yoga, Ashtanga yoga, some techniques with bhakti. That's what Dhruva practices. But in general, this yoga is quite difficult. That the techniques that are given to, it's a mechanical control over the mind. Yoga is a mechanical control, and practically does not work in this century. Not at all possible. Dhruva, whereas in Satyuga, that's why it was possible for him. So by virtue of our initial low starting qualities, it is more difficult. So our starting point of yoga is very small now, because people go to yoga in order to lose fat and many other reasons. But even this is difficult for most of the people to do that much yoga also. Even along with the path, there are many difficulties. People say, oh, how can I do yoga? Now, the point is, very often people go out of their way before reaching the goal. But ultimately, even Arjuna says, oh, mind is so restless, it's very difficult. And in general, we have to, I want to tell few more things about mind and this process, because it is important to understand. Now this topic has come, so I wanted to give this information to all of you. And even Krishna says, yeah, it is very difficult to control mind. But nevertheless, some of the instructions, including the, like, if a person has set a highest goal, like now Dhruva has a highest goal, then in itself is already a sign of his uh, exaltation and nobility. So like Dhruva is in that state now. He has taken the highest goal. So like we have to consciously cultivate a desire to go to Krishna for us. That will help us to make our mind more and more stronger. Consciously cultivate. We hear, we speak, but internally that desire should also come slowly, slowly. That is very important. So if a person has set this highest goal, very few people even set themselves any lofty or noble goals. But Krishna says that it is necessary and sufficient condition, not just necessary, but necessary and sufficient condition for achieve success on the way of our lofty goal is not just some simple determination. So the determination part is also very important. And he says that man must have determination. So here, this is another point where Narada is challenging Dhruva. No, you should do have that much determination, because without determination, will not be able to achieve anything. But with a determination, he will be able to achieve everything, because in the end, it is essentially the most important meaning. No, this is what uh, Narada is trying to explain. Because the path of bhakti, in essence, any other path depends on God only. And the only thing required is to make sure of our sincerity. Because ultimately it is Krishna who is going to give. We have to prove our sincerity with only one thing, that is our determination. No matter how many times we fall, we have to get up and again try to walk. Again get up and try to walk. Ultimately, it is Krishna who will help us. But it is not how many times we fall, it is how many times we are getting up and trying. Then Krishna says, okay, this person is really interested. Because sometimes the obstacles that confront us seems insurmountable. Sometimes we give up. Sometimes we think, oh, it's so difficult. I've been doing for a long time. I have not achieved, nothing achieved. No, even if we feel that I have not achieved something on this part does not mean anything. Because the very fact that I practiced already means that is success. That means we practice for few years, that itself is success. Prabhupada said somebody left Krishna consciousness. So that's not very surprising. Who stayed back is surprising. So not that we have to achieve something. We have to practice for some time. So a person is engaged in Bhakti yoga. He has a right to continue, in the right to expect that Krishna in the end will come to his aid. So for us, that is the hope. So we hear this story, the parable which Prabhupada says, the parable which is given in Puranas, how a sparrow decided to take revenge on the ocean, and she was picking up little water in her beak, and at the same time she thought she was collecting water and looking at the ocean. He had no uh, does he decreased in size or not? Sparrow is looking. So it's clear that the ocean did not decrease in size. Ocean remained the same. But she tried again and again, and the ocean remained same. Everybody was laughing. Everybody gathered around and pointed a finger at her, and everybody taunted her into a laughing stock. They said, "You are a fool. You know, do something useful. Otherwise, you are just trying to scoop out the ocean with your small beak." Then the sparrow said, "No. In this life, in the next life, in any life, but I will do it." And when the rumor spread, the Kecharas they informed, the Narada Muni, he came to that place, and he also started telling. And then Narada, he came to he also decided. He says, "What are you doing? How can you do it?" He says, "No, no, no." He told actually, "Listen, Sparrow, what are you doing?" Sparrow said, "Do not bother me, good man. If you can't help me, at least don't bother me. I will do it at whatever I want." And then Narada got convinced. Same thing here also. So there also Narada tried to test. And Narada was convinced. Then he goes to Garuda and says, your relative was offended. You have a tiny little sister, and this sister is trying to take revenge on the ocean. And you go and deal. Garuda said, "Oh, how?" They offended my relative. So he flew to the ocean, began flapping the wings, and the ocean got scared. It understood. Now, the meaning of this parable is very clear. The meaning of this parable is because, on the one hand, we must be perfectly aware that our practice is not the one that leads to success. Even if a sparrow scoops up the ocean for several consecutive life, he will not be able to scoop it up. The ocean is ocean and sparrow is sparrow. But thanks to the determination, at the very moment when determination arises in our heart, higher forces are connected to our effort. And we must be completely sure that these higher forces will come to our aid sooner or later if we really feel this determination in ourselves. We must not for 1 second doubt that higher forces will come to rescue me. So even if I fail to do this in this life, that should be my determination. I should not think, well, so I'll continue, you know. And actually, I wanted to talk on effect of the mind affecting the time affecting the mind. But we will just take few more shlokas and then we will just come to that point. Nardamani continued, after trying this process for many births and remaining unattached to metal contamination, placing themselves continuously in trance and executing many types of austerities, many mystic yogas were unable to find the end of the path of God realization. So Narada is not only just telling, he is also he's trying to back up with an example. So Narada is trying to convince. Uh, yes, Sachiprabhu.
Maybe Dhammatam now is I can ask at the end also. The point is related to that you mentioned about while doing something now. Like while doing the spiritual thing also, usually during DT day seva we like to hear. I don't know. So what exactly uh, has been your realization so that you have changed this style? Like usually I have seen also in Brahmacharya ashram sometimes they read Prabhupada books or they put something Prabhupada while taking prasadam. So I just want what has what has your experience so that you have changed your mind of not listening to this. Even while walking, not about devotional things, even while walking or sometimes going traveling something. So at a time is what exactly you want to say, Prabhu?
Oh, especially for deity worship and prasadam, bro, we have to be very mindful. We have
Mm,
to relate to the deity, feel as a person, deal with
mm,
him. Say now you have come to visit my place, and I
mm,
am trying to give you something, give some prasadam, and try to take care of you. And while hearing lecture, I am doing. How you will feel?
mm,
I'm trying to deal with you and lecture is playing. You said, Arey, why don't you talk to me? Why don't you deal with me properly? You are hearing lecture or talking to me or
mm,
attending to me. So, like, you will not feel good that I am hearing lecture also. I am giving you water. I am giving you something to eat. I am telling
mm,
this is a, so it's not very good that we are dealing with a person while hearing something.
mm,
And when honoring prasadam, with each item we have to relate. Then we can digest it nicely and we can release the item also because it is
mm,
honored by Krishna. So we
mm,
have to relate to each and every item we are eating properly. That is good for digestion. And it
mm.
is tasted by Krishna, so we should also taste that item, not here. So,
Yeah.
because the mind can do only one thing, it cannot do two things. I am also slowly understanding and trying to practice. And while hearing and walking, you are doing very mechanical
Time.
things
So
like taking bath.
I really, really, yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
while walking and taking bath, when you are doing mechanical things, that time you can hear. But when you are doing some very specific things, then we have to be very careful. Dealing with people,
So when you are
prashadam,
when you are dealing with the people, or when you're dealing with the seva, the deity
Lord,
seva, maybe
prashadam, yeah, that time, yeah,
Lord.
yeah,
Mm. Also, produce nowadays, and that the system I recently heard there is a called distraction feeding. The distraction feeding is if someone doesn't like some item or someone who doesn't know to take, you just distract him. Now every child, your mother is giving her in the mobile in the hand and just trying to feed the child.
yeah.
This is a common scenario, and this is being proposed by many people. Government has a protocol of distraction feeding in a nutritional rehabilitation center. So I was shocked after hearing that. So distraction feeding means you keep on going eating so that your weight will gain increase, something like that for this. But it's become a common now. So how to give that? Like this for them it is a mechanical process.
Yeah, we have to be conscious, bro. Then only we can come out of all these things. Otherwise,
Mm,
now all these things. Now the devotees, they will also so much are eager about Bhakt board. Then they will be interested in uniform civil code. All these things are
mm.
distraction by the government so that they don't disturb them. Whatever they are doing, let them do. So they create such distractions in the society so that the main issues of the society and all cannot be, because some things because there will be unnecessarily agitation, so better you only give some agitation, they have something to think. Otherwise people
Mm,
start thinking something and it is very difficult to handle them. So like how children are, you told na, children are given some distractions so that they don't trouble the parents, they can do whatever they want.
mm,
This happens in a smaller scale and this happen in a large scale, in a mass level. Whole society is like that now.
mm,
So they don't now they don't have any higher purpose in life, so they always fight for some mean things.
mm,
So we have to be conscious and see that we don't get distracted with this and we are clear with the purpose of life and go ahead.
mm. Very nice one. Thank you so much.
Nice. One Mali Prabhu.
Yes. Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
That so based on that example you gave, Prabhu, that sparrow and Garuda. So in our sadhana also, uh, so there is nothing like we have to achieve. We just have to be sincere, and whatever sadhana that we are doing, it is not like a gauge that we will succeed like that. It is just we have to show sincerity, and that we have to have patience. That I will show this sincerity for life after life. Then that will attract the Lord, and then He will show mercy like that. Otherwise, to on our own to pass the ocean, or pass the ocean is difficult. That's how we should understand, Prabhu. Like that, I should.
Yeah, we have to show our determination. And Lord is very merciful. With even little thing also, he shows so much mercy to us. Even now also, we didn't even much showing much. We are getting opportunity to every day hear Bhagavatam. We have Balram Shakti Prabhu and some nice devotees. Where we hear from them Bhagavatam. We have facilities of devotees, prasadam, and in family members they are practicing bhakti. So many things Lord already arranged. Even we don't have much eagerness. Even we showed little eagerness one time, and so many facilities are made around. This you didn't plan only many things. Lord only arranged for you many things. So the point is that we have to show more and more. Then Lord is going to make more arrangements and show His mercy. So without His mercy, there is no possibility that we can come. And yeah, that is true. We fall many times, but we just have to get up and continue showing our sincerity and determination. Yeah, that's
So
only.
basically, our consciousness should be like, I don't deserve this,
Yeah.
but I just have to show sincerity and determination, and
Yes.
then even though the Lord is helping me, that, but it's not the Lord has. It is not that the Lord must do it. We just have to pray for Him to help us even more. But our consciousness should not be like I'm doing this sincerely, and definitely I will see a result like that. So we should have a consciousness that I will do this sincerely. I know, but result might come or might not come. But my determination is only to acquire the Lord's love, which is up to him to give it to me or not, like that, right, bro?
Yeah, correct. And more we go up, more the test will increase. Till liberation, Lord is easy to give. But after that prema, Lord is going to test really bad. So we have to increase our determination, not that, okay, I'm determined now. No, it should be more and more and more. That's why we should to be with devotees who are very determined, so that we also get the determination to continue day in and day out.
Okay. Thank you.
Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhupada
Dhanwad.
Ki Jai. Prabhu, as you explained that mind can do only one thing with relation to that. You also said that when we are not dealing with people, uh, some things, mechanical things we can do. So that means like mind can do multiple things.
No. Mind cannot do multiple things. Something are mechanical. Like say I'm walking, I'm brushing teeth or taking bath. So that time you don't need much mind. You can focus on because we do as a mechanical thing without being conscious also, and
It
then
is
we can
coming.
focus on hearing.
It is. It is coming from subconscious, something like that. Like we know
Ah,
that things
yeah,
how to drive, how to
yeah.
walk,
Driving,
okay, how
yeah,
to
driving.
cycle, okay,
Yeah.
how to brush. So that means that subconscious is not coming under mind, Prabhuji.
We have conscious mind, subconscious mind. So some
Oh,
things, what happens is our senses are programmed. So mind already programmed the senses. Say now, like say some mosquito comes and touches your body. No,
hmm,
your hand will directly go and hit it. Your mind is not involved that time. Your mind will not think, I should lift my hand at this degree, and at this degree I should hit my hand and left hand. Your mind is not focusing. Na? Your hand directly went to the mosquito.
okay,
So
okay,
did you plan with your mind? No, you are already programmed like that. Your hand will directly go and try to hit the mosquito or try to sway away the mosquito like that. So there are some actions which we do like that only.
okay. Yes,
So we
Prabhuji, now I understand. Yes. There is conscious mind and subconscious mind. So that subconscious mind which is already programmed, that is taking care.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Really help.
Yeah, some more things about mind. Tomorrow we'll do it. Today we'll just continue few more things what Narada is trying to tell. He is trying to convince Dhruva Maharaj, "Arey, it won't work." So, many people have tried. It didn't work for them. So for this reason, my dear boy, you should not endeavor for this. It will not be successful. It is better that you go home. When you are grown up, by the mercy of Lord, you will get a chance for these mystic performances. At that time, you may execute this function. So better go home, not for children. This is actually what Narada is telling. And Prabhupada is writing, generally, a thoroughly trained person takes a spiritual perfection at the end of his life. According to Vedic system, therefore, life is divided into four stages. In the beginning, one becomes a brahmachari, a student who studies Vedic knowledge under the authoritative guidance of a spiritual master. He then becomes a householder and executes household duties according to the Vedic process. Then the householder becomes a vanaprastha, and gradually, when he is mature, he renounces household life and vanaprastha life also and takes to sannyas, completely devoting himself to the devotional service. And Prabhupada writing, generally people think that childhood is meant for enjoying life by engaging oneself in sports and play. Youth is meant for enjoying the company of young girls. And when one becomes old at the time of death, then he may try to execute devotional service or a mystic yoga process. But this conclusion is not for devotees who are actually serious. This is very important. So what happens is we may think, Array, poor boy, he could have enjoyed with his friends and classmates, and he could have played something, and unfortunately he went to the forest And after going to forest, he understood the purpose of life. And then he lost his childhood because now he's no more playing. He's seriously engaged in devotional practice. Now, we think whether that made him lose his childhood enjoyment because he is practicing bhakti. Actually, the reality is that the childhood enjoyment, the youth with enjoyment with company of young women and all other things, it's an illusion. It's not reality. So we should not feel sympathize or feel compassion that somebody is losing. Actually, reality is everybody is suffering only in this world. Person who don't have good childhood, a person who had good childhood, person who is having good family, person who don't have good family. Both are actually in an illusion only. So it does not matter you have good family, no family. Ultimately, you are in a prison house with good facilities in the prison. Important thing is coming out of the prison is important. So sometimes people have this material compassion. Oh, this person, he did, he could not go to, he went to US, but he could not get his green card, and because of Trump, he has to come back. So actually, it's not a, of course, I don't want to become very politically wrong, but my point is everything is illusion. We should not, we need not bother about all these things so seriously, because material world, even if you are in US with green card or you are in Canada with the green card or any other country, it's all misery only. Only thing is bhakti is what is reality. So Dhruv Maharaj enjoyed the childhood or no enjoyment does not matter only. That's why Narada Muni, the great sage Narada is instructing Dhruv Maharaj just to test him. Actually, the direct order is that from any point of life, one should begin rendering devotional service. You see, any point of time. That is the reality. So good, bad, it's actually bad only this material world in one way. But it is a duty of spiritual master to test the disciple to see how seriously he desires to execute devotional service. Then he may be initiated. So how much test Narada did for Dhruva? He told you are a child. He said, oh, you can forgive. Then he said, it's all Supreme Lord. Then he said, oh, it cannot be done by ordinary people. And then he said, okay, you want to come, you come when you are old and all. Better go and play. It is not for you. So many tries, so many ways Narada is trying to test Dua. It did work. So that is the speciality. That's why this story is in Bhagavad. So one should try to keep himself satisfied in any condition of life, whether distress or happiness, which is offered by the Supreme Will. A person who endures in this way is able to cross over the darkness of nescience very fastly. So these are instructions for Jnana in one level. And they try to do all these things, distress, happiness. No, they just, and of course in Bhakti also we have to follow. These instructions are very helpful for us also, that we should be like this. But uh, it is test for Dhruva because Narada is trying to tell, okay, be at home and think that, okay, we have to tolerate. In Jnana, they don't do anything. They just tolerate. And Bhakti, we tolerate, but we don't, we just don't work on tolerating. We are just working on pleasing Krishna. And because so many obstacle comes, we tolerate. So please try to understand this very important difference between Jnana and Bhakti. In both places, tolerance is there. They also think, okay, honor, dishonor, we should not be affected by it, any conditions. And who endeavors in this way is able to cross. So we should make this endeavor. But they don't do any positive action for pleasing the Lord. They only work on, okay, this is pain, this is pleasure, this is pain, this is pleasure. I will not get affected by it. And many in devotion also we have this very conditioning, like we also want to get rid of suffering. So that is also jnana tendency. We don't want to get rid of suffering. We want to serve Krishna. If Krishna want to help us to get rid of suffering, that is up to him. Otherwise, I will just serve Krishna. So that is the purpose. Like, why this other organizations, Vipassana yoga, this yoga, that Kumar is this, why they are famous? Because they help people get rid of distress. They bring people to mode of goodness. Why people go to yogas, pranayamas, and all? Sattvic living, this food and other things, sattvic food and all. Why people go there? Because basically it is helping them to come to mode of goodness. In mode of goodness, there is knowledge and happiness. So people get that happiness. That means the relief from suffering comes when they practice all these things. And they get some sort of that knowledge. They feel that they have realized some very higher things and they have experienced some bliss because of free from suffering. But that is not actually bliss and real knowledge. It is in goodness only. Even Krishna tells that is also binding. We should not get stuck up at that level. We should go beyond it. So when people, they have some realization, we don't deny that they don't have realization. They have some understanding and realization, they have some experience. But that is not actually that is not actually the that is not actually the purpose of life. We have to, I'm in class. So that is not the purpose. We have to please Krishna. We have to serve Krishna. We have to develop a relation with Krishna. This is actually the purpose. When people say, oh, Krishna is not helping me coming out of suffering, Krishna did not promise. Krishna is telling Dukkha Vishashvatam. He's telling Yogaksham Amyam, but he has his own way. We have to work on uh, pleasing Krishna. Of course, sometimes distress is too much that we cannot focus on Krishna. That is also there. But we have to say, Krishna, Krishna, it's too much. I'm not able to tolerate. Can you reduce the pain so that I can focus on my service to you? Like that. So anyway, what Prabhupada is saying, material existence consists of pious and impious fruitive activities. As long as one is engaged in any kind of activity other than devotional service, it will result in happiness and distress of this material world. When we enjoy life in the so-called material happiness, it is to be understood that we are diminishing the resultant actions of our pious activities. And when we are put in suffering, it is to be understood that we are diminishing the resultant actions of our impious activities. Instead of being attached to the circumstantial happiness and distress resulting from pious or impious activities, if we want to get out of the clutches of this nuisance, then whatever position we are put in by the will of Lord, we should accept. Thus, if we simply surrender unto the supreme personality of God, we shall get out of the clutches of material existence. So Prabhupada is giving this instruction for all of us, and Narada is also giving that same very important point. He said that be satisfied in all conditions. We will just take this one more. Every man should act like this. When he meets a person more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified than himself, he should be compassionate towards him. When he meets someone equal to him, he should make friendship. In this way, one is never affected by the threefold miseries of mental existence. Gunadika mudam lipse tanukrosha gunadaman maitrayam samana viche nattape tabhibhuyate. I think this is very important. So we'll take tomorrow. Uh, any comments? Uh, it- so any comments, questions? Okay, thank you all very much. End here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki